Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Santa Fe Public Schools podcast. I am Joe Abeta, and today we have Jenn Jevertson, our Assistant Director of Student Wellness. How are you doing today, Jenn?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Excellent. No, thank you so much. And Jenn has brought today our guests from the membership of the WAVE Leadership Council. We have Stacy Vigil, a junior at ATC. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you.
Yeah, and with us also is Yoselin Galdamez-Menjivar. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, please. I appreciate it. And today we're here to talk about what WAVE is and also the things that you guys are doing in WAVE. So thank you for joining us. Yoselin, let's talk about what WAVE is. What is WAVE? I know, Jenn, we've touched on it a little bit here in a previous podcast, but now that we have leadership here, let's talk about that. What is WAVE? What is the WAVE program?
Yeah, so the WAVE program, which stands for Wellness Ambassadors to Voice and Empower, is definitely a program that is youth-driven, and it's all about youth leadership. It's definitely a program that's for students, by students. It's a way to empower the voices of our youth. And we work on so many different things at our schools, things such as suicide prevention, gun violence prevention, substance abuse, and all kinds of things. It's really just a way to have everyone at a younger level work on advocating for themselves and their worries.
How many members do you guys have in your leadership council?
On our leadership council?
Or just all together in the WAVE program? I'm sorry.
Ooh, I don't know about the WAVE program. I think it very much varies from school to school.
Okay.
For example, at Santa Fe High School, we have just around 10 members, including our leadership council. What about ETC?
I think ATC has around the same amount, the 10.
Yeah, I think it definitely varies by school. It also very much varies by level. So we also do high school and middle school. So our middle school groups, I believe, are a bit bigger from what I've seen at our field trips. So I think those are usually looking at about 10, 20 members around, I would guesstimate. And then the other high schools tend to have similar numbers.
How long have you guys been in WAVE?
I have been in WAVE for almost for all 4 years of high school. I've been here since freshman year.
Okay. How long have you been, Stacy?
I've been in WAVE since last year, so this is my second year.
Let me ask you some things. What drove you into wanting to be a part of WAVE, both of you? What was your inspiration to do that? What was it? What was your calling that you said, hey, I think this would be a really good idea?
I have always been super passionate about suicide prevention. And I did a lot of projects with it using natural helpers back in middle school. And when I got to the high school level, I was really seeking to do something very similar. And someone introduced me to the WAVE program, and I went to their first meeting. And if I remember correctly, that WAVE meeting was about suicide prevention. And from then on, I just knew it was a program that helped advocate and helped voice me. And that's how I stuck around for so long, and I have loved it ever since.
That's awesome. Stacy, how about you?
So at first, I wasn't too sure about what WAVE was, but my guidance counselor, Miss Gavin, she introduced WAVE to me and what it was about. And me as a person, I'm really passionate about helping others, and it's just always been a really big goal of mine to make the world a better place. So when I heard about WAVE, I was really interested in it, and yeah.
That's great. That's great. So I know that it is Gun Violence Prevention Month or week, Jenn?
Week, yep.
Week, yeah. So let's talk about that. What's the history of WAVE and how they're involved in getting out the message for gun violence prevention?
Sure. So WAVE has been doing gun violence prevention efforts for over 10 years. And we've been doing Gun Violence Prevention Week specifically, which is not even a national thing. It's something that we just decided at Santa Fe Public Schools we wanted to do. And so every year we have Gun Violence Prevention Week. This year it's coming up real soon. It is March 2nd through 7th, so Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And we've partnered with New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence. We've worked with them for many years on educational workshops, different collaborative art projects. We recently did a mural with them. And so what Gun Violence Prevention Week is meant to do is to provide an opportunity to talk about how we can prevent gun violence. And one of the important things is that it's not anti-hunting, anti-gun.
Yeah.
Right? Many of our families really love and have great connection and going out and either practicing shooting or going hunting. But what we're about is anti-gun violence. That students, I mean, adults too, but, that students and young people aren't using guns to solve problems or to threaten, and that there's other ways that those problems can get solved. So we're asking students not to use guns to harm others.
Gotcha.
And so that's the messaging, but also we're trying to make sure to raise awareness so that students who, aren't going to bring a gun to campus, but they learn about one on campus. What do they do? Or they think someone might bring one, or maybe they're going to talk their friend out of using a gun for violence. So we want to make sure we're reaching all the young people so they know the ways that they can prevent gun violence at their school. It's something that young people think about a lot. I mean, we have lockdown drills. We have real lockdowns. There have been so many school shootings across the nation that I think it's something that is prevalent on our students' minds.
Well, and it's also being responsible too, right? I mean, thinking about not creating videos sometimes that may be that provoke something or some kind of an image or something that if you do have a gun, be responsible about it and right correctly. And then also being aware of the consequences maybe of being irresponsible.
Absolutely.
Correct.
And so Gun Violence Prevention Week, it'll focus on kind of three main things. And it's really the theme is like what students can do to make their campus safer. So the first thing is sign the student pledge against gun violence. Okay. And then we've also got a reporting venue where students can report through Say Something. Anything that they're concerned about, they can report that. So we want to encourage students to report through Say Something. And then we also want to encourage students to reach out, whether they need help solving a conflict, whether they just need support, but to reach out. There's so many areas that students can get support from their school counselor, from restorative justice program, from even calling one of the helplines or 988. And so those are kind of the three main points of our Gun Violence Prevention Week coming up.
Okay. And you had mentioned the pledge, Stacy. So the student pledge against gun violence. Can you give us a little bit more background on that?
Yeah, so the pledge was first created in 1996 and has been used by SFPS for over 10 years. And students will sign the pledge promising not to use guns to solve any problems or disputes and not harm their peers or others. And they sign it to influence our communities to make it a safer, better place where everybody feels comfortable and we don't have to worry about gun violence.
So as far as getting that pledge, how would one student go about getting the pledge and to be able to sign it?
Well, there's a website online that shows the pledge, but usually at least once a year, WAVE has our schools sign it, and students can sign it, staff can sign it, really anybody could sign it.
Gotcha. That's great. And Yoselin, they had mentioned, Jenn had mentioned also that the See Something, Say Something reporting system. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. Its official name is Say Something, but the phrase for it is See Something, Say Something.
Okay.
I'm sure all the students who own a Chromebook have heard about it and such. And it's a reporting system. It's a system where, although currently we're talking about it in the context of gun violence, it can be used to report any kind of concern that you have as a student. Something as simple as hearing about a possible fight, or something as serious as knowing that a friend might think about doing something very drastic, whether it be bringing a gun to school or participating in some kind of self-harm. It's just a way to anonymously tip your schools. And some tips when using the Say Something reporting system is to really be detailed with what you are reporting. Make sure to add as many details if you can. If you're talking about a specific person, maybe try to include that first, last name, if possible, grade, just anything that can really help. Anything that can help as a whole. We really want all of our students and parents to be very well informed about the See Something, Say Something. It is truly such a helpful resource.
Yeah.
at our schools.
Has it had an impact on the schools? The See Something program do students use it? Do they use it?
Yes, students do use it. And when students report, then it goes to that principal, it goes to safety and security. And so it provides an opportunity for kind of a team to respond, depending what it is, right?
Yeah.
Responses are always different, but students are using it. We just want to make sure that students remember it so that when it comes up and they have a concern and they think, oh, shoot, what do I do? That they can report it then. And it can be anonymous, right? Because some students, they're concerned about something, but they don't want to say their name. They don't want to say who it is. So they can totally report anonymously, and that stays confidential and anonymous unless there's something really concerning that is, like a false threat or things, then law enforcement can figure out, who submitted it. But for the most part, it's just anonymous, which is a great way if students don't feel comfortable talking to someone at school, that they can just send in a report. They can do it in the middle of the night. They can do it from their phone. So there's so many different ways that they can report, which is really easy.
So, Yoselin, just kind of as a follow-up to Jenn, also, do you, as ambassadors, and you, Stacy, too, do your peers, the students, the student body, they know you guys are part of WAVE, and maybe they may say something to you like, hey, there's something happening here. Can you kind of guide me in the right direction as far as, if I'm going to report something? Do they know you guys are WAVE, and then what you do? How does the student body, do they know that you guys are there to assist?
I believe so. I think I'm very vocal about being in WAVE when I was just a member, and now that I'm in Leadership Council.
Yeah.
I believe anyone who is lightly acquainted with me would know that I am always open for any kind of reports and going to make sure, I hope everyone has the trust to know that if they report something with me, that it'll stick with me until I tell someone who can take better action in it. But I think anyone who's lightly acquainted with me is very well aware of the fact that I am in WAVE and that I am an advocate for them, and that anything they ever truly need and are worried about, I am always a resource.
Gotcha. How about you, Stacy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that most people know that I'm in WAVE, especially since I go to such a small school.
Yeah.
And we're very open about telling the students that they are able to come up to us when needed. And if they're not comfortable coming to us, they're also welcome to go to an adult or even like a parent or anyone outside of school. And we really try to make it comfortable for them and not pressure them. But yeah.
If a student comes up to you saying, Stacy, why is gun violence prevention so important? Why do we need to? Why are we doing this? What are you hoping that the result is of this? What would you tell them?
I would tell the student that gun violence prevention is extremely important, not only for the safety of themselves, but for their peers, because resulting in gun violence because you have an issue isn't ever a good thing. I mean, when people are going through mental health challenges, they might not always make the right decisions and they might regret things later on. So it's extremely important to have caution when it comes to guns and your actions and everybody's actions, because it all affects us no matter who we are.
Yeah. Yoselin, do you feel like that it's also a platform to be able to let adults know? I mean, how you guys react to it, how the student body reacts to it. Sometimes adults can be really caught up in just like certain things, right? We don't stop and pump the brakes a little bit and listen to what the youth, what the youth wants them to know, correct? And so, what is it that you want adults to know about gun prevention, violence, about WAVE? What is it that you would want them to know?
Yeah, I think when adults see younger people, you can often be led to the misconception of young people being very self-centered. And I think it's a very common stereotype that happens. And I think it's a really good idea to push that stereotype away and know that kids are very worried about what's going on in the world. And these are things that affect them on the day-to-day basis. I mean, it's not your parent that's doing your lockdown drills. It's not your parent that is having these spiels in class about where to hide. what desk will be the best to avoid a bullet. I think it's really important to know that your child cares, and discouraging them from advocating for themselves, or at the very least educating themselves, is very detrimental when it comes to the safety. And it's just so important to really listen to the youth, and know that there's groups like WAVE that are here to help advocate for your youth if you ever need anything of that sort.
Yeah.
And just know that we're here to support. We're all here to support any concern. Right now we're talking about Gun Violence Prevention Week, but WAVE is open to help any student advocate for any worry that they believe impacts their life and their school site the most.
I want to get to this because I don't want to get lost in it, because there's other stuff I want to talk about. I want to talk about the mural and what was the inspiration behind that. But I do notice that you have a gun lock to your left there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So these are gun locks. This one in particular is great because it is very simple. Just a key, you turn it, and you're free. Key, you turn it back, and we're locked and safe. It's very important to know that these are free.
Okay.
These are free, and they're provided upon request at every school site that WAVE is hosted in, and they're also available at the Office of Student Wellness here at BF Young. And they're just a great resource. I think when parents hear, oh, you should lock up your guns, they have this notion that might be like, oh, but my child would never. And I think it's striving away from that error and just err on the side of caution. It's so important to know that there's so many different instances. It could be your 14-year-old wanting to show off to a friend and something just unfortunately goes wrong. It could be someone being so very upset at someone at school for something that happened and then going to the most rash decision possible. It could be someone being in a super dark place and looking for a solution that might be permanent, that is just for a problem that isn't permanent. So a gun lock is not just here to help us prevent school shootings. It's here for the safety of your child.
Yeah. And it's good practice too.
And it is good practice. I think we should always lock up our guns, keep our ammunition separate, have every gun be unloaded. It's just such a valuable resource, and to know that we provide one for you without any cost or anything, just for the safety of your children, of our children here in Santa Fe, is just so important.
Where can we get those again?
We can get these. You can get them upon request at your school site or your child's school site.
Okay.
Or here at the Office of Student Wellness. They are also provided here.
Excellent. That's great. I know I kind of skipped up, but I just want to also talk about, you brought up the Office of School Wellness. Let's talk a little bit about that. And then I'd like to get into the mural part of it. But just a real quick, if you can just kind of give a brief to the folks out there that are watching this, what the Office of School Wellness is.
Great. So the Office of Student Wellness, we oversee a variety of different programs and supports to overall promote wellness of our students. So our Adelante program that supports families that are experiencing housing instability or homelessness, our nurses, our counselors, our teen parent program providing support to pregnant and parenting teens. Our lovely WAVE program is also under student wellness. And we also oversee all of the prevention efforts and the social emotional learning, mental health initiative. So it's kind of what our office focuses on, a lot of little things.
So that brings us to a great segue into, you guys also oversee special projects out in the community as well. And the mural project was a huge one on the south side. Can Yoselin tell us a little bit about that?
So we have in our Santa Fe Teen Center, there is a lovely mural that was made by the youth here in our district, and it is truly an inspiration. I think everyone should go check it out, take a look. There will be QR codes next to the mural itself.
Okay.
These QR codes can be scanned and it'll take you to our augmented reality. This brings our mural to life.
Okay.
It has moving aspects. There is a beautiful, beautiful poem that plays while the mural is augmented. And this poem is by Sofia Salazar, and she is our Santa Fe Youth Poet Laureate. And it is truly wonderful. I think everyone should take a look at it and really know that every aspect of that mural had meaning. None of it was thrown to just take up space. It is truly beautiful. I know Miss Jenn was on the site while it was happening. I believe she could share a little bit more.
Yeah. So one of the most important things about this mural is it is a youth mural.
Okay.
So young people, we actually collected input from like so many young people across Santa Fe through surveys, through focus groups. And then we opened up for an application to be part of the work crew that actually got to decide what goes on the mural and what goes up, and they got to paint it. And so we had a group of 11 young people that for 4 days a week, all throughout June, spent all day with us. They learned about gun violence prevention. They learned about mental health. They learned about wellness. They learned all these things. They explored root causes. They explored, how they can have positive impacts. And then they started drafting imagery. And so then they sketched out different options and they narrowed it down to this gorgeous and huge mural. It's 40 feet long and about 10 feet tall. And it's on one of the sides near the entrances of the Santa Fe Teen Center. 6600 Valentine Way. And like Yoselin said, the posters are right next to it. So you can just go outside anytime. Teen Center doesn't have to be open, scan it and check it out. But we're really proud of the work that we did this year. The Youth in Wave have been asking for a mural for many years. And in partnering with New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence, we've gotten to actually take field trips to murals that youth did in Albuquerque.
Oh, wow.
And so that was the inspiration to then finally, with funding from the city of Santa Fe for violence prevention, both New Mexicans to Prevent Gun Violence and WAVE came together in partnership and made this beautiful mural.
And what a perfect place to have it in at the Santa Fe Teen Center. I mean, down on the south side, what a great place. People can enjoy it. They can also, every generation of teens that come up, right? Because there's always a new set of teens. They'll be saying, what is this all about? And they learn about it. So it's a great learning tool for them to learn about gun prevention and best practices, and also be inspired also by the poetry and stuff. So that's good stuff. Very good stuff. Yeah. So, Jenn, let's also talk about the support that you get from the Santa Fe Public Schools board members and what they do. They created a resolution, right? They reaffirmed a resolution recently. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, and this isn't the first resolution. They've done other resolutions.
Yeah.
But, resolutions are meant to be an impact statement. And so in October, the board reaffirmed its commitment to helping prevent gun violence, making sure our students are safe in schools. That's one of their number one priorities, is to make sure our students are safe. And so the board put out another resolution just reaffirming, saying it yet again, because we can't say it too many times, how much they value and how important these prevention efforts are. So endorsing Gun Violence Prevention Week and the pledge and Say Something, and really encouraging us as staff to make sure that we are doing everything we can to prevent our students from suffering any harm and keeping them safe.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. That's great. So, Stacy, Yoselin, let's talk. If someone wants to join WAVE after seeing this video, listening to this podcast, how would they go about doing it?
Yeah, so personally at Santa Fe High School, you would go to your counselor's office. You will find Miss Gomez, and she has a great gateway to joining WAVE. Or again, Santa Fe High specific, you would come to our lunch meetings every Tuesday in the counselor's office.
Okay.
And it's as easy as just showing up, and we will always welcome anyone with open arms. I don't know, how it is at ATC?
Well, at ATC, at the beginning of each year, we have these applications that you could fill out, and we accept pretty much everybody. And we always welcome new members. And once you do get accepted, we have lunch meetings every Tuesday. And our current leader, I guess you could say, her name is Miss Dixon, or Kaylee Dixon. And if you're looking to join in the middle of the year or like around now, you would probably have to talk to her.
Okay.
And if you're not at one of those schools, you can always check out our website, wavesantafe.com. And you can find out which schools have WAVE groups. We have WAVE groups at 11 of our middle and high schools. And so you can always find out who your sponsor is through there.
Excellent. Website, does it have other resources too as well?
Tons of other resources. Okay. So it shares highlights about our previous projects, what we have going on, different opportunities to engage in, and then also resources as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you all for joining us today. Awesome work out there in the school district and in your school, and just I think it's amazing that we have you guys out there, teaching folks about gun violence prevention here in the school district. So, and Jenn, thank you. I know you just do amazing work in your office, and it's just awesome, and we appreciate that.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joe.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. Please come back. Please come back.
Please, you'll have me.
All right. You got it. Thanks again, folks. You've been watching Inside Santa Fe Public Schools podcast, and have a great week. Have a safe week. Adios.